Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hyperloops 2020 podcast. We got a full 5-person roster today. I'm just gonna go around the horn real quick. We got Shane Serdap.
Hey guys.
They can't see it's an audio
Oh yeah.
thing.
Hey guys.
They can see on mine.
I know, but
On YouTube, I wave.
No one's
There you
watching
go.
on YouTube.
I will-
Everyone's on the podcast feed. We got our boy finally here, NJ Quenk. Nick.
He lives.
What's up? What's up, guys? I'm back and I'm twice as ugly. Let's go.
Yeah, how did that happen? All right. We got erstwhile North American champion Reflex. What's up, Andrew Cox?
What's up, man? I'm glad I'm Andrew today. I get to use my real name.
Erstwhile. You got an erstwhile also. Like,
And then,
me
either.
another erstwhile North American champion. Honestly sarcastic. What's up, Joe?
the original. Doing all right, baby. Doing all right.
The OG.
Drew's
And then
here
I'm Bobby Sapphire. What's up? Okay, so we should
The other
if you
North
watch on
American
YouTube, we should
champion because it's a loop convention championship.
So we're here today to talk about covert missions and all the things. Basically, just every podcast probably doing spoiler reaction videos, whatnot. But for our main feed, a public feed, we really wanted to talk about some cards and just like the way these all came about. So obviously there was a spoiler article on Friday, and it was like yellow villain, right? Because it was all pirates. I was kind of like busy all day, so I didn't really catch the spoiler article. But then at 5:00, Matt Holland, delivering on his promise to give us the entire set, posted every single high-res image on Facebook, which is pretty awesome. We'll have high-res images for TTS, which is great.
You guys know about that.
Any
It looks
thoughts?
like it was just yellow. There was some neutral stuff as well.
Oh, there was
It's
neutral
all
stuff.
about
Okay.
pirates.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the pirate stuff was villain, I thought. But again, I didn't look too closely at it. But yeah, so any thoughts on just like, there's a lot of how do I say this? Like, I guess like emotional posts on Facebook this week, and for Matt Holland to deliver the whole set like he said he would, I think was good for the game and good for morale and good for attitudes. Any reactions to that?
Definitely good for him. That's more love for that man.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, someone's gonna start trying to give him unborn children or something like that.
He's single-handedly maintaining the relationship with the community. Like without him, I think the community would be in full revolt.
Yeah, I mean that is his job, and so he's doing an effective,
Yeah, I think but I do think he is doing his job, but I think he's going a little above what he is expected to be doing.
Yeah, I think he's doing his job, but he's treating it like he cares, which is
Right.
nice, because I think when we do look at all the other people for FFG who are probably doing their jobs, they just don't actually give a shit. And I think Matt does. But I've had other interactions with FFG people, and it's like you're paying them to even interact.
I feel like you were just talking about Jeremy.
No, I've actually
I don't
like
think, I
someone
think that's
was
not
really
true at all.
yeah.
no,
No,
I think Jeremy cares.
No,
Yeah.
he definitely cares, but he just looks so straight faced. There was just like, it's like,
Yes.
oh man, this to happen. He's like, yeah, that's great.
But someone pointed out to me this week, they've actually been communicating with Jeremy, and that like Jeremy came out to, like Cuenca, you convinced Jeremy to go out to karaoke, and he interacted with the community. I don't think it pains Jeremy to interact with us. I was more talking about a lot of the people who ran Worlds, like the official FFG people. It was just like pulling teeth to interact with a lot of them, and I had a lot of negative interactions with people from FFG at Worlds. But no, I think Jeremy cares. I just don't know how much like he can do. As just a designer.
Right. I all my interactions with Jeremy have been super positive, and I think he always really values that, especially from content creators and high level players. I think he enjoys that conversation. So I think, I echo what Mike said.
I think FFG just has a strategy and it's not focused on Destiny right now. I'm hoping with that OP article, we'll put a lot of our minds to rest.
with the game.
Yeah, and I think it's okay if they're not focused on Destiny, but we like, obviously we have a fervent community asking for something.
Dude, could you imagine the FFG live streams if we didn't have Matt Holland?
The AMA, I still think it's going to be a shit show if it's
The
bad
thing
news.
is, it won't be because the only way you can submit questions is on the FFG community page, which is it's up now, so they can just weed all the questions out now. They're not going to go through and read them live. If they do, they're
Yeah, but it's going to be on Twitch. That Twitch chat
the
is
Twitch
gonna
chat
be
is going to be
a dumpster fire. That's putting
But I'm saying like they don't have to interact with the Twitch chat in an AMA
Sure.
if they have the questions beforehand. So they'll be able to ignore it, and not only like effectively ignore it, but like outwardly doesn't look like we're reading them. So it will it just won't get any reaction from anybody. It's a
Yeah,
good way to ignore it.
between Brazil and the Destiny community, that Twitch chat is done.
Dude, Brazil lit that up.
It won't feel like an AMA. It'll feel like I'm reading off answers and questions.
Exactly.
That's
It's
not
like
what-
a mail. It's more a mailbag than an AM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
This
an
is not-
AMA,
not
AMA would
happening.
be like, is the game gonna die in 2 sets?
Yeah.
And then he'd be
And
like,
then you can definitely trick them into reading your question by phrasing it a certain way, and he starts reading, and then all of a sudden it's about tank tops. You know what I mean? Definitely word your question in a way to get them to do it.
what are your thoughts on Jessica Alba?
Jessica Alba gifs. Have you looked at the Hyperloops Jessica Alba gif?
Is
that
the
still a
character
thing? I hope
Jessica
so.
Alba?
It's still there.
I didn't know.
I
it was
gotta get
still
that
there.
back in my life.
You see
I'm
it all the
gonna
way
keep it.
every time you go down to the voice channels. You go past it.
Yeah, no, I have
Nice.
stuff minimized, so probably somewhere hiding there.
Anything else we want to talk about before we start getting into cards, or any other reactions to Matt Holland? I personally think he stayed late because he posted it at 5:10. I feel like everyone went home for the day at FFG, long week of layoffs, and he posted it up by himself, and he's a hero. That's sort of the way I want to look at it.
Man's hero, definitely.
Is it's awesome.
After this, he'll be a myth. It'll just be like the guy who cared. People were like,
Then the
no
legend.
such exists.
The
And
man.
then,
No one
Shane,
ever
you mentioned
cared.
this yesterday, but you've been messing more with covert mission stuff than getting ready for LVO.
Yeah. Like I was up till 3 a.m. building decks. I built 7 new decks last night. It's
Like
insane.
physically?
No, like on.
Oh, okay.
No,
You
because
can't do
I'm
it
like,
physically.
I don't have the cards, man. Like how can I do it physically? Like the
Oh.
cards are on DB.
saying
So I'm
Dude,
like,
That's a good point.
If you
That's a good
printed
point.
them out, you could have
Right.
done it physically.
man.
no.
Shane's dedicated, man. He's our grinder.
Yeah. So I am excited. I have probably 3 of the 7 that I actually think are like good. So
Do you have
But
the game up,
other
Shane?
ones-
No reaction?
It's gonna
I
be
mean,
like one of 7
I have
of the
the game
decks
up.
will maybe
I
playable.
did the react.
Oh,
Wide right, baby. Wide right.
He
Shane
did-
must be
no
on it.
good.
He did do that.
I
No, I
want
did
a
this.
live side by side of Nami versus Shane. That's what I want.
Is Call a Texans fan? We could probably get Call in
Nah,
here.
forget all that
Inception?
That's
Isn't
a
it
disaster.
Inception?
This is Destiny. No football.
All
Get
right,
outta here.
fine. Destiny, no football talk. All right, then anyone else have anything about their lives they want to? Cuenca, we haven't caught up with you in a minute. Do you have anything to say? I can see your Hyperloops wooden deck box back there, and all the play mats. It looks so great.
So yeah, I wasn't in the last 2 podcasts because my friend needed to rent his apartment, so I helped him with that, and we got it rented, so that was great.
Sweet.
And then last week my wife was sick, not crazy sick, but sick enough where I needed to attend to her hand and foot. So
Rubber feet.
yeah, so she's okay now, and now we're talking Destiny, and I'm excited the set's out, so I can play with new cards.
Sweet. Well, let's dive right into it. We're going to talk about the named card of the set. The card that names the set, Covert Mission, because there's a lot of interesting things we have here. So it's a neutral command commons. It's red. Give a character 1 shield. Spot a mission plot to search your deck for a card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Now, what are the mission plots? It's build the Death Star, Jedi training,
Destroy
blow
the
up the
Death
Death
Star,
Star,
and Coaxium Heist.
And Coaxium Heist is a 0 that anyone can run.
Yellow.
If you have
yeah,
yellow.
if they're yellow.
You're yellow.
But it gives your opponent a 7 health guy with Guardian, which is just like, I don't think you can give your opponent 7 health to play a tutor.
No, but you were saying that in Mill.
A Mill, without a single damage side could just be like, here's a dude, go away.
Yep, and then have a tutor for whatever important card you need. Like No Answer, for example, would be pretty good to have. I guess it takes away some of the sneakiness, but you could also do it after they claim or something. Any other thoughts on this? Like, do we think any of those cards are going to be good? Because it's obviously important for both blow up the Death Star and build the Death Star to find, like, those decks have trigger cards in that you need to run to complete them, right? So it helps you find that card.
I think
you
it will.
wouldn't want to play a whole game of destroy the Death Star and never find the card that like attack run or whatever it's called, trench run.
Right, and I think I've only messed with build the Death Star. So in Krennic, this is obviously because he's red, makes it perfect sense. Getting Director, the new card Director, that lets us roll back in a red resource die that it was either removed or resolved. So I think that's really key for this card here to do that.
Man, like, can you imagine playing and someone's like, "Oh, first thing to do, I'm gonna go find easy picking," and then you're like, "Oh God, I gotta play around that." It's like, or like,
Yeah, it's really interesting to just like do the old school sort of magic way, which
Yeah.
is like, all right, I'm just gonna tutor. I forget which one it is, but tutor for an instant, and then have this that's removal card, and it just like it's so defeating. It's so deflating.
Yeah. Well, they don't even know because they don't have to show it to you because it's any card.
yes,
So
Oh, that's true.
they don't even know that you got an easy picking. They'll be like,
That's
"Fuck."
true.
Oh, it is hidden, right?
yeah, it
You
is
don't
hidden.
have to show
So
us
like,
what they
you,
get.
if you see a piloting deck, you just tutor, and then they're like, "That's a DM." It's just like,
You're just telling that,
Oh.
even though it's not.
You
All right,
could, yeah.
I'm just gonna get my DM right now. So
No,
don't, you
so,
know.
so what you do is you sleight of hand this like your cat, but good. You you look through the deck, you drop a card, and then you pick it up, and then you grab the DM to your hand, and it looks like you took the other card, and then you shuffle.
That's a Kowalski. That's not a cat.
No, because cat was stacking his deck, so he was
Right. Kowalski literally dropped cards on the floor and came up
Just
with the one he
find the
needed.
one he
All
wants.
right,
correct.
that's a
But we're
cat.
not talking
That's
about
a
cheating.
cat
We're not talking about adding cards. We're talking
Like
about
a
sleight of hand trick your opponent.
I think it's a combination of both. I think you're creating a new way of cheating.
That
It's
one's
now the
definitely not
Joe.
cheating.
You dropped cards on the floor.
No. You drop one card on the table, like you were grabbing that one, and you put it on the bottom, and then you grab literally the second to bottom card and put it down to the side, shuffle the deck, and present it to your opponent.
Whatever. I don't know what the
Okay. Can we move on, please?
It's mind games. mind
Mind
games.
game.
Anyway, so
These
Shane,
are
you
the
like this
unnecessary
director card
things
for
someone does to make the top 32 at Worlds.
No, it's just funny. I just want to troll somebody. you
In
all
Critic,
about-
yeah.
you
the
drop a
mind game.
truce and a Vader Saber just for trolls on stream, and then you put them back and you grab something else.
So in
He's
Build the
like-
Death Star, there's two key cards, and I actually think one of them is the Death Star plans, and then this Director Krennic, right? Because Build the Death Star is put 16 resources on the Death Star, and the only way to get
It's
resources
15, and the
there.
only way to do that is 16.
it's the only way to do it 16, unless you have a Build the Death Star, which you get to use once. It gives you an action early, and then this card here. Because you're balancing between getting enough resources to cast removal. You're almost a mill deck at this point, but you're just trying to stay alive and then get resolve resources. So if they you have 2 left and they get rid of one, you can roll this back in with this guy. And it's any die, right? It's not just the one attached to Director Krennic. It's any resource die. Any red one. Sorry, any red resource die. So that means the Death Trooper that you're probably using, Director Krennics that you're using, and then any of the other cards that you're using that are red.
What's the name?
Resolve
of
it for a resource, be able to cast a
Director.
removal,
Director,
and
okay.
use it for the action.
what's the event that you're talking about?
It's called
Are you talking about
Death Star Plans. You mean?
Death Star Plans is what it's called.
the-
Yeah.
Oh,
Death
that's
Star
in.
Plan.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, okay, it's neutral randomly. Okay.
Well, yeah, because so it's interesting
upgrade.
because I can only use it probably once, and then it goes to my opponent. So if they were playing Build the Death Star or Destroy it, they can steal this from
use
me.
it. Yeah, because
Right.
if you take damage from an effect, they can grab it. They can gain control.
So the goal
I
is to
remember
play it
now.
at
It's been
the
spoiled
end
for a
of-
very long time. I
Yeah.
just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, so the goal is to play that at the end of a round, use it, and then use it again, possibly before
They
you
steal it.
get it stolen, and then they override and use it as an override. But that
Right.
way,
So you
this gives you 4 of it with this mission card, right? So you can go find the Death Star plans, or you can go find Director, which is really good in my mind.
Or moving rocks
Yeah, which will be fixed.
and move those rocks off the plot. Sweet. All right. What's
Okay.
next? What else do people want to talk about? Or do you have anyone else have anything to say about Covert Mission, Cuenca?
It's just so many things you can do with it. I don't really know exactly what else I can add. Like obviously the Death Star thing on both sides is intriguing. It's weird. In this game, paying 1 for something like that, you really have to make sure that what you're getting is worth it, because that's one less money. Like if you do it in round 1, then you're basically starting the game with one less resource just to get a specific card.
Sure. But like you could play like let's say in theory you could like play Bane, play a battle droid, play the Death Star, and then like tutor up whatever ability you were looking to get. You could go get like a Ceresu or something and then cast it. I think for me the big thing is like Krennic and Luke each make the Death Star or the Death Star plot things -1, so they'll cost 1. So at that point, if it's like okay, well if Luke's 15 and comes with that, then if you pair him with the red, you'll have access to the tutor. And then it's like, oh, okay, whatever tutor into a redeploy, tutor up, some of the new busted cards we'll probably be talking about, some much better than others. And I think I would pay 1 for, was it Face the Enemy? I forgot this already.
Yeah. While Joe looks that up, I want to say, like, I don't know if the tutor's going to be that great because what Quinka said with, like 1 cost. I see it specifically in the build the Death Star and destroys, but if you're trying to add a point to like Luke or Director Krennic and play something else that's just using that plot to get this card, because we draw 5 around and because our decks are only 30, I don't see the tutor being as severely important unless we find there's some broken combo.
Yeah, I think it's also very limited by the mission plot thing, but like I guess if there were a situation where you could bring like just play 3PO and a mission plot and this could pull support R2, like that's kind of interesting to me.
Probably one of the bigger ones for me there, I think, is because you could go Elite Luke Pilot, the plot. Nope, you can't do Anakin and 3PO. It costs too much by 1. I forgot that the errata. No, I was almost there.
It's hard.
It's
hard to fit the 2. It's better if you fit the 1, right? So if you're doing Luke or Krennic, it's a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting the thing you pointed out about having a 0 cost plot, just so you can play a tutor. So if you really think that giving them a 7 health character, which I actually, when that card got spoiled, I thought about it a lot, and it seemed like pretty bad. Aside under normal circumstances, I think in Mill it's like fine, who cares? You don't have any damage sides anyways.
Correct, right? So if you played like red yellow villain Mill, you could Coaxium Heist, have him start with that, and now you have a tutor.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean that seems cool. That seems like definitely something worth trying. It's like what do you get? What are you getting that's worth it, right? So because tutor's only as good as what you're gonna get.
If they got 1 card in hand, you could like go tutor the no answer at the end of a round after they claimed or something.
Yeah, that's really good. That's obviously really
good. You can go get my new favorite card, Face the Enemy.
Yeah, so you want to just start talking about that one so we can
we'll just go straight into it. So my favorite card so far in the set is Face the Enemy. It's spot an exhausted character to force an opponent to draw 2 cards. Then look at that opponent's hand and place up to 2 cards from it on top of their deck in any order. So if I activate and you like mitigate and then I jam this, I could go take like your only dice cards if you only have 2 of them. I could, if you have any combination type cards like in the old days when you Del Fisted, so like a No Good To Me Dead and a Mega Blaster, I'm like, oh, let's put this No Good To Me Dead on top. And whatever other card. If you have 2 pieces of removal, you just didn't cast it because my dies were terrible, and then I just take both of them, you're up shit's creek without a paddle. I really, really like this card a lot.
What deck do you envision this?
Every villain red deck. Everyone.
Okay, so every deck you play, villain rainbow, but you generally aren't trying to activate your characters early, right? You're just gonna put them out there and
you just put one guy out.
That trade.
If you have a 3-wide deck, you just put out the first die. You're setting up Forsaken, and you get this. If you Sentinel Messenger and hit this, how broken is it?
Right.
If you Sentinel Messenger into this, kind of insane.
Yeah. So it's like
I could see that being really, really good.
It's like, oh, it's so broken.
It's gonna feel bad. It's gonna be on the long list of cards that feel bad.
Yeah, like Counter Intel was like, oh, okay, you had to have a leader. This you don't even have to have a leader. It's a tapped guy. So like, in the situations where you had big little and like the little dies, the big can't protect his dice with this. But in a 3-wide deck, you're just like, I don't care about any of these dice. Here's my dude. It's in play. Oh, Forsaken's up. Oh, let them stall with something. Then you're like, boom, gotcha, sucker.
Right.
Now protect
in my
them.
mind, it just makes it. You put that one guy die out there. You now are threatening Forsaken. You're threatening this card. It just creates so many more threats for just a already threatening villain 0 cost. Like,
Forget
they have all of
probe.
them.
I would never run
Forget
probe.
probe,
I didn't even
right?
like probe to begin with, but I would never run probe if this existed.
Yeah, a lot of times where you jam, like they have 5 cards in hand, like probe feels real bad, and this is like really good for those spots where they have a certain amount of money and you know exactly what they want, and then you're just like jam this, and then I just there's a specific kind of card I'm looking for, either it's removal or it's like the big boom boom.
Yeah.
Because they like took a bunch of money and they have 5 mana, 5 resources, and they're gonna play Vader system. They're like, let's look at your hand, let's see what you
It's
got.
any card, right?
Any 2 cards. So they drop.
Not just events.
Yeah, not just events. So like,
That's
I took your
so
supports,
insane.
I took whatever, I messed up Joe's entire hand. Like, it scares the crap out of me. And my favorite part is probably going to be Cuenca's favorite part, and I could already see him going back to his red villain mill. You don't have to put the 2 back. You put up to 2 back, so they could claim with nothing in hand, and you'd make them draw 1. You have them draw 2, put 1 back, and then no answer.
That's funny.
And it's like, oh, there goes your mill off the top.
Yeah, this card's gonna break a lot of people's turns and just like win the game. I
Yeah.
can foresee people are gonna feel real bad about it. They're gonna be like, "What? Like I just didn't play anything this round? Great."
I don't know how this got printed, to be honest.
Seems pretty insane.
Yeah,
Is
like draw
Mikey-
1, put 1 back, I would still be like, oh, this is really good. Draw 2, put 2, oh my god, it's broken.
Yeah, if it was like 1 and 1, it would still be fine. You'd still like play it, right? Like,
But it's just nuts. The composition of your hand to like not get blown out by this is like what? You have to have 3 of something that you really want.
Yeah.
So you have to have like either
Yeah,
3
that's
mitigation
pretty
cards or 3 upgrades.
Yeah.
And depending on where it falls in the turn, you just rip the other 2. You rip whatever they have 2 of.
Mike is in the apocalypse because it gets really dark over there, and that's why we have to start at 3
Yeah.
and not 5.
My window is facing the east, so once the sun crosses the house, there's no more light. I should go put the light on though.
You were good at like the very
It's gotten,
start.
right, it's just gotten slowly
Yeah, dark.
Yeah, if I sit back, it's like
Chronicles of Riddick, dude. He's just in the dark.
all right.
he's slowly going Palpatine.
Good thing nobody sees this, right? So nobody watches the YouTube.
Nobody watches.
People watch the YouTube, trust me.
We get like 1 hit. All right, let's move on to a new card. Cuenca, any you want to talk about?
Oh, hold on, one last thing.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's because I just love this card. So if they're in a situation where their die sides are bad and they're low on cards, if you make them draw 2 and put the 2 terrible cards on top, they then have to decide whether to lose real good cards, and they're stuck drawing trash next round.
Yeah, it's that's the part that I think
It's just
is really
always good.
Yeah.
It's making people draw the shit cards they already don't want. It's like really, really
Yeah.
fun.
Right, they can't discard those cards so that like you're. That's the thing. Like, there isn't a bad time to play this card. Like, there's a good time and a better time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probe, there are bad time. Like, there's definitely feel bad probes. This card is just always good.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. Favorite
Most
card.
busted card in the set potentially.
This is my next $8 uncommon.
The
There
one
you
that
go.
we want to open multiple of.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
Oh yeah, you want at least 4.
Also, pretty cool art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet scene.
It's a good, cool storyline.
Thrawn
Again,
versus
why can't
Terra
this
is so
be?
good.
Why can't this be neutral?
Because
Because you caught zero, so it has to be villain.
Right? It has to
I
be
would
villain.
never leave Hero if Hero could run this.
Like
I'm-
villain gets the best. Villain gets the best events, and heroes supposedly gets the best characters. That's the way they're working. I think.
No, it's easy picking
Snoke?
versus this.
Ron.
Hero's getting some help this set, especially in the zero card mitigation. Zero
Yeah,
cost
that's
mitigation.
true.
They have a bunch of weird
gotta-
stuff.
I hear there's an
They
article
have
about that.
There is an article coming out.
There's Lothcat.
Okay.
There's also Lothcat, yeah. All right, what do you want to talk about, Cuenca? Pick one.
Well, I was gonna pick the Battlefield Abandoned Refinery.
Of course, you would pick a Battlefield.
Yeah.
Scroll.
Fine.
Yeah. It's power action, discard a support or upgrade you control to play a support or upgrade from your hand, decreasing its cost by 1, then draw a card. So I see like it basically gives you a free resource if you can scale up from like 2 to 3 on an upgrade. You can scale like imagine like you play like Mega Blaster into Fist or something absurd like that. Like and then you still have your 2.
It's also you can discard a unique to replay the unique for 1 cheaper.
So
right?
keep in mind, it doesn't scale. It's not switch a 4 into a 5. It's decrease the cost by 1. So you would actually
Yeah.
lose your Mega Blaster and have to pay 4
Oh yeah, you do have to.
Right.
to put the fist in. It's much better on like 1-cost cards.
Yeah,
or
or-
like even
Or like
yeah.
BT than triple
Crack it for
zeros
another
that you
BT.
wanna
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but putting the second BT into play,
Okay, so
you know,
yeah, so-
potentially for one, I mean, potentially for free because of Afro's text. Like you have a Luke ship, it's piloted, you've used it, you have another one, you play the other one for one, you get another use out of it.
You can also discard like upgrades from a dying character to play a support. Like it doesn't have to be upgrade to upgrade.
Yep.
For sure, yeah. I do like it for being able to like get uses out of that second unique you draw if you have the opportunity.
You
But yeah,
steal their
it just
fickle
seems really-
and then you discard it to put your other your whatever something else.
Yeah,
in
to
play.
put like your lightsaber into play or something.
Yeah. To overwrite your 2-drop lightsaber into a 3-drop or something. It's like, oh, stolen.
yeah, it doesn't. Unfortunately, yeah. So you'd have to discard something, and then it doesn't automatically like. It doesn't
I wonder if they
automatically.
did put this in as like fickle hate.
Steal it, then throw it away.
Steal it, then
Yeah.
throw it away, and like you only paid one resource for the fickle, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, to steal the opposing fickle. Definitely possible. I think the other thing I'm looking at is Merchant Freighter. So you can play it, get the resources off of it, and then throw it away to get something else cheap.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of one cost. I've been reading all of them. They all do weird things, but there's a lot of one cost supports that have tokens on them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess this card kind of tailor made for doing something like
Use
that.
it up, throw it away. Just like the ammo reserves, right? Like you ammo reserved, used it up, then tossed it.
Yeah.
But you want something that gets used up real fast.
But yeah, I like obviously power action battlefield. It's free, they give you something, and if there's some kind of weird deck that just because like can play a bunch of one cost stuff or like 1 and 2 cost stuff, and then kind of just go ham with that.
Yeah. You steal Shane's Death Star plans and then you sacrifice it to play your actual
Yeah.
upgrade.
Oh man, hey, that's like overwriting though. But yes, that's expected.
Just going to what Quenka said about all the cards that come into play with tokens on it, like that all the Sebulba always wins truthers are ready to dominate with that card, discarding everything.
Dude, there's one guy from Tampa that has been playing Iden Sebulba.
With
For
Sebulba
like a
always
year.
wins.
Yeah, for like a year. It's like a fire spray deck. It's all he plays.
Fat fire spray.
Nice.
He's ready.
I like it.
This is his time.
That's the exact kind of person I'm talking about.
He's gonna put those
Yep.
tokens on the Merchant Freighter and be like, I got money for days.
So yeah, I mean that was like the most like kind of interesting card I saw. There was one I kind of like Cruel Methods. It's a villain downgrade. After you claim or take control of the battlefield, you may deal 1 damage to attached character. And there's some like weird battlefields that like sort of swap in and out, so you can claim them. There's a way to give your opponent the battlefield and take them out.
Hey
And
guys,
it's kind of,
I thought about
Yeah, go ahead.
something. Chopper.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Chopper can use the upgrade, then throw it away to get the other one, the mod.
Woo.
So you can mod after using it to then get like the Ezra Saber on like R2.
Or a support, right? You can it can be upgrade to support or
Yep.
support to upgrade, right?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so you're using the mod loop through the battlefield to
Yeah.
get an extras. So you're like,
But without having to put it on Chopper.
right? Yeah, he lets you do the chopper tricks only with your other characters.
See, there you go.
The battlefield does.
Yeah.
That seems
Yeah, so
pretty.
you're essentially getting -2.
Yeah, because you got it for free, you did whatever, and then you like cycled it away. So you could do your salvage arm thing where you use the salvage arm, sacrifice it to play something, bring back the salvage arm, use it again.
Wait, so
But you
I
still have
play
to
a
cost
salvage
one.
arm
Still
for
cost
free, and then I power action this to play an upgrade for -1.
Yeah, on somebody else.
Yeah, so then I get a 3 cost on like R2 for 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you can also
after
there's
using
also
it.
there's also a few like 0 cost supports, right? That like you can sack to just gain 1.
Yep. The new suppressive fire thing.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that one soon, but when I was going to just talk about how the card that Cuenca was talking about,
Cruel methods.
there's a whole deck around that, like just claiming the battlefield with Commander Pyre. After you claim or take control of the battlefield, you may deal indirect damage to an opponent. So all those claim effects, like he's the poster child for claim effects and going fast and having cards in your deck that steal the battlefield and stuff.
Ban
Yeah,
and
it's
fire. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like make sure there's enough cards that sort of pay you off for doing that. But I think there have been some, and then there's like Gideon who makes you want to have the battlefield, and I don't know. He's kind of overcosted by like probably one, but
Yeah, and I don't think you necessarily want to be re-rolling Pyre's
Right.
die in, but he's a trooper leader, and so he like works with, or he's all range though. But he still does have Riot Shield, which is solid. So I mean that could be a real deck. Did you build that one, Shane, in your 17 decks you built last night?
Pyre DJ is what I built. Because you
I'm
can
in.
run mean streets with claiming, and you
I'm
can
in.
do like, yep, it's gonna be good.
Don't worry, I'm
Well,
about to
actually,
ping you for some decks for League, Shane. So get them
Oh,
ready.
it's gonna be real bad.
Let me know what you need to.
real bad. Yeah,
real
Joe.
bad. Like out of the 7, 1 might be
How
playable.
did those Banes? How'd those Banes go?
So yeah, out of the 7, 1 might be playable.
I don't know. I think that there could be enough things that make Pyre good. It's just like those cards that take control of the battlefield or claim have to do other shit too.
Right. So like, so seizing territory, right? Then they can do like snuff out. I also like the taking charge, which if you already have the battlefield, you get to reroll die, and then if you don't, if if you already have the battlefield, you get to remove a die. If you don't, you get to reroll a die and take control. So you're doing a damage, rerolling a die. There's all kinds of things. DJ's already pinging, and they already have like two sides all over the place on there.
Do you in your DJ Pyre deck? Do you have 2 Survival Instinct, 2 Hasty to keep giving them the battlefield and taking it back?
I have 2 hasty. I didn't do the survival instinct because I just don't know if it fits in there, but I want to see how it goes.
I think Survival Instinct might be slightly better than Hasty. What do you guys think?
I agree, just because I want to hit specials and like resources at times,
That's the thing. Specials and the 2 resource sides of things like Entourage
or even
Invader,
2 disrupt, dude. 2 disrupt,
2
like
disrupt.
disturbing. Yeah.
I mean, I love Hasty.
Yeah.
I put that shit on everything. So to see another version of that can also hit specials and non-damage sides is pretty sweet. I do love just how you can just remove a fist die for free with Hasty, and I've done that so many times it feels good. But Survival Instinct does give you a little more play, especially in a world with so many specials on them.
And I'm trying to claim a lot, so I would say I'd probably want to get the 4th one in there in this current version. But yeah, I think
seems
it's better.
interesting to keep giving it away and stealing it back.
Do we think that Fist is going to be as ubiquitous in the meta than it was previously? Like, we think that's card going to be not seen as much, right? So like this card is probably gives you more versatility meta-wise.
Yeah, it's so much better versus Entourage, if Entourage is the thing. And if we look at the prime results from this past weekend, Entourage was a thing. Like, a thing. So, like, Survival Instinct becomes amazing in the Entourage meta. Yeah.
It's a weird time when Entourage gets to make a comeback.
Yeah, but I mean, I saw LMAG roll that 2 resource side, and I was like, get rid of that thing.
I have 2 for trade. If anyone needs, I have 2 Entourages for trade. Prime, never been used. Let me know.
You might need to keep one. The double down Entourage deck might be making a comeback.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I don't think any of the Entourage packages won this week. It just topped, right?
But it topped a lot. That doesn't mean like it can't be. Yeah, I mean,
I'll figure
sure.
out support soon. Don't worry. We're gonna have a
Wins
Abandoned
are good.
Refinery, and we're gonna chopper Entourage some stuff because you're gonna get it for 2.
I'm not as concerned with a deck winning, but like when a ton of Entourage decks start making top cut when they hadn't been, then that's when I start taking notice. But anyway, I think Survival Instinct is pretty sweet.
Building Abandoned Refinery chopper after we finish this chat.
And refinery.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Nice.
I'm gonna,
Build me-
I'm gonna use the
build me the
grappling
LBO
arm, and
deck,
then I'm gonna
please.
sack it for a Chewbacca blaster that goes on R2.
I'm down to play that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be the new battlefield of choice in 5 Dice Chopper.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like it's essentially
Broken.
it's just a free resource. I mean, we already know how good the Chopper shenanigans are just doing it on Chopper. So to be able to do it on any of your guys is just gross.
Or just like late round, you flip it into an Entourage for 2. Like,
Mhm.
free Fickle. Oh, let's go. No resource Fickle.
Free Fickle, and then if they steal it, you can they can't steal it because you can steal it right back because it was free.
Yeah.
That's sick. Anyone else want to suggest a card?
Fluid.
You can go. Why don't you go?
Well, I feel like I kind of snuck Survival Instinct in there. We could talk about Fluid Riposte. Here, Shane, I got to turn my light on, but you guys talk.
Okay.
He's gone. That's it. He's gone.
Gone. I don't. We lost Mike. And Nick. Oh, okay, he's back. So fluid.
Let there be
You
light!
got it up, Joe. You got it, Joe.
Fluid, yeah, it's pulling up. Go ahead.
Go ahead and read it.
1 cost. Spot a blue character to remove a die showing damage. Period. Then, if that character has a card titled Sheehan Mastery on it, deal 1 damage to a character.
All right, so we got the new deflect, right? That's pretty much what it is.
It's better than deflect. It's a piece of mitigation that might do a damage for them.
Yeah, I think it's just everything a blue deck has ever needed. We've never had a spot a blue character to remove a die, just like any die, right?
Discipline Mine was close, real close.
But it's spot a Jedi.
Yeah, yes, but it's about as close as you'll get there.
No, you can run this in any character. Like,
I'm thinking hero.
Villain or
Sorry.
hero.
Okay.
No, this is villain, hero, remove a die showing damage. Like, blue has been dying for a card just this simple.
Yep.
And then, I don't know how many decks are going to actually be able to play Sheehan Mastery. It's obviously very good, and some decks will. And if you do play Sheehan Mastery, you're absolutely going to play this card. But I think almost every blue deck will play at least one of these.
So I've obviously been playing Bane, right? So I love this in the Bane because Bane was having a lot of hard time with spot yellow. So this is now the spot blue that I needed to replace like some of those spot yellows. Also, I'm like playing Sheehan Mastery every round, so this is amazing. The other deck I built, I was still kind of in love with Lightsaber Mastery, and being able to put this under Lightsaber Mastery and have it just on all the time is amazing.
The fact that it's a move is sick.
Better than deflecting.
Right. So I get and so
sequencing was awkward.
Oh, and deflecting, yeah. No,
also,
deflecting it.
You can remove melee too, which is huge.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a really, really, really solid card. And then when you just think about all the great things you can do with it in the right deck, it becomes awesome. But I think that Hero, I mean, this is neutral, obviously, but I think Hero got a lot of cards that are like a lot of mitigation cards that are just good. There's over 20 mitigation cards in this, which is a ton.
I gotta say, though, the fact that this is not a core set kind of is frustrating. So for any of you that aren't aware, what a core set means is because we're playing in a block system, so there's 3 sets. The core set would be like the first one.
Base set.
That was base set. Sorry, yeah. Okay. Because the other 2 are considered like expansions. So what happens is on the rotation you're losing all 3. So the first one in a set gets used for the longest. So if this was the brand new set, this was set 10, we would have all of this removal in trilogy and like post rotation. This is like. There's going to be trilogy for what, 4 to 8 months based on FFG's release schedule.
Yeah, but could be as little, like literally could be as little as 3 if all of a sudden they're like new thing.
Yeah, we would lose our minds if we got another set in 3 months after. We would just absolutely.
I mean, that happened, right? Didn't they have like did they go from like
Spark of Hope came out fast? I thought.
No, it wasn't like
Convergence came out fast.
Yeah, okay. Convergence came out super fast.
But I'll say this: there were like. Comparing to Spark of Hope had like 4 mitigation cards total. Yeah. And now we're getting 20 mitigation cards in this set, and it's the last set, so it'll affect the meta for the least amount of time. But a lot of these cards are just,
This might be the draft set.
I love this card. I love the set. I love the fact that they're doing. I hope this is the kind of the Jeremy's in charge finally, where he's got full control of everything. He's figured it out for this next set. This is what his. Hey, look what you're gonna get for set 10. This is gonna be
but this set will affect standard for a long time, so it's good that we finally get these mitigation cards. Any other thoughts on Fluid Riposte?
Sploosh.
Fluid. So I think we should talk about Viper Probe Droid.
Viper.
Similar to how Survival Instinct is a functional hasty exit reprint, Viper Probe Droid, well, it's not a reprint, but it gives villain exactly what Suppressive Fire gave to heroes. So now it has a react mitigation card, so it doesn't cost an action when it removes, only when you play it. Mm-hmm. It's a 0-cost support droid. After a die rolls damage, you may spot a red character and spend 1 resource to remove that die, then discard the support. So the spot red is like a real hang up for it, but in certain decks that won't matter.
But it's not limited to character dice.
And it's not on activation. You can do on reroll.
Any roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whenever it rolls. That's
any roll. So it does similar things in that it reacts to something happening. But it's any roll, it's any type of die, but you have to spot. Damage die.
Yeah. The other one was any character die.
Any
Right.
character die, but after activation. So you'd have to
Right.
make the decision sometimes to all right, I'm just gonna Thrawn's die now, so it doesn't hurt me later.
Yep.
It's interesting that it's a droid too, so it helps you is there
Automated defense.
Well, there's
Yeah.
that, sure, but you're not going to just play automated defense when you have Viper Probe Droid, right?
No, but if you had Sentinel Messenger, then just Sentinel, you might play automated anyways, thinking he won't die.
Right.
So then having these as backup is solid.
Yep.
Is
I think they're
Afra an automatic? You have to pay -1 for the first roll.
It's not that you pay for it, it's your first one. So if you cast this first, you don't get the other discount.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. So
Yeah.
you'd have to pay if you were going to play this. You'd have to pay attention and not blow yourself out.
Yeah. It's awkward. It would be awkward with Messenger if you're like, oh man.
Off the top, can't do it. Damn it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you shouldn't do that to yourself, but I'm sure that someone will.
So-
They'll be like,
I'm sure no one ever thought they'd put shakedowns in their deck list. And
All right.
stuff.
So
Whatever
oddly
that other
enough,
card
though,
they were supposed to play.
you can mod this droid with dice if you wanted. So you could do silly stuff like if you were playing draft with the hero villain mix and reassemble it. You could reassemble it and put on
With,
grappling arm.
arms and
Yeah.
stuff. Rocket booster, Viper probe droid.
Yeah. You activate, you use it, then you crack it.
is reassemble yellow or red?
Yellow.
Yellow.
It's yellow and it's
Hero.
hero only. Yeah. You'd have
So we
to-
got
Are you going to activate any support? Don't Dice supports normally say you keep this card?
Oh, they'd usually do, I think, yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I think there's even a card in this set that says.
Boo.
I don't know if you can just activate it diceless.
Whatever. I still get to attach it.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
why are you ruining our meme?
I know.
we pull it though, and maybe you can't attach it. But you can definitely bring it back, right?
Is
Yeah.
anyone concerned about DM on this?
No.
I know a lot of people not concerned at all. You
What?
would take this as a DM target?
Well, if
Yeah,
I'm playing this,
absolutely.
I probably have other supports.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying though. You might not play it if
Get
you're
your-
not playing any other support.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So is it
Depending
like
on the meta, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is an auto include in every deck. That's for sure. I mean, it's not because of the spot red. It makes it a lot because you can play it at any time. But if you play it and then your red guy dies, it just doesn't.
It's
Right.
dead, yeah.
So I think that makes it far less played and far less good than suppressive fire.
I hated Suppressive Fire so much because it was only on rollout.
I think Joe said this was comparable to in villain at least a Sinister Piece.
Yeah.
Right?
The big thing here is
Power
that
level.
this could answer people's Vader problems in villain. Because it kills it on their turn, so they can't get to
Oh
die
my
back.
god, does this just end Maul's life? Does it resolve before Maul's
No, it's after
power
trigger.
action?
So Maul would finish his power action.
Okay.
But if Maul rolled out, you could eat a die with this and then eat his other die. And then he'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
And the worst part is it sets up Forsaken situations where an elite character rolled out and this ate one and then you forsook the other one. And it's just like, oh.
Oh my god, yeah, that's good.
It's also like if they're playing Entourage, they roll the indirect. You're like, I'll take that, and that's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
If we get to that meta,
Imagine if you ate a Fickle, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Just steal it.
All right. What else do we want to talk about?
You had one.
well, one quick thing. I do think the Viper Probe Droid is better than the other thing, just because there are so many awkward situations where you had to decide. I know the spot red thing is real, but when you have a red character, I think it's better.
Well, I think that's the thing that's cool about it, right? They're so different and so similar at the same time that we could go back. Oh, but you had to do it then. But this is spot red. But you can only do it on the rollout. There's just so many ways that each one works that they're very, very different, despite being very, very similar.
The big thing I think for me is it's primarily the suppressive. You never want to do it when someone rolls caca, and this you get to just hold for forever until there's actual damage showing.
Yeah, but then if someone rolled caca, sometimes it was the right play to remove it, and that is kind of made you good, I guess, is
Hello?
knowing when to do that.
Correct, but you had to choose to remove it then and there.
Oh.
You couldn't wait,
Yeah,
and that was the
but good
dilemma.
players
Did I
make the
get
hard
cut?
decisions at the big stage.
This is also
That's
dead
the
versus
thing.
mill usually too, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to talk about Nullify. I think Nullify is really sweet. It's a zero cost blue hero event. Move one shield from one of your characters to an opponent's character, then remove a die. I think in the decks where the decks that want Nullify are gonna really, really, really love Nullify. Like this is huge in Raylo. This is huge in like a Yoda Qui-Gon. This is huge in the new Anakin deck. I think those decks are just really, really like it. And most blue hero upgrades have a shield side. And those are a lot of those decks are like reroll decks, and sometimes you just have to take the shields. So I think it's easy for blue to shield up. And yeah, I think just getting hero free removal is really sweet. And then when your deck can actually benefit from your opponent having a shield, like Kylo and like Anakin, it's just really sick.
Yeah, my main concern with it is that it's similar to Pacify in that it doesn't actually do anything. So like if you pacified a character die, you gave them 2 shields, and you probably remove 2 damage, so you kind of get that trade off. The fact that you can remove any die here is really nice. But you're still giving the equivalent to 2 health. You lost the health because you lost the shield, and they gained the health. So like, don't go bananas, guys. Like just putting this in every deck, because it doesn't advance the board state usually.
I put this in over Pacify if I can.
I think you're right. You don't have to go crazy putting it in every deck, but like this is card 1 and 2 in Raylo. Like I wouldn't
Right.
build
Oh,
Raylo
100%. Yeah, that's fair.
100%.
You know what I mean? And then I think you can't play the Anakin deck without this card.
Oh, you'd 100%.
So that's what I mean. I think in the decks where it's amazing, it's going to be unbelievably amazing. And I think it's just so strong in those decks. I'm like hyped for it to be in Raylo. That's for sure.
Quinka died.
We lost Nick.
Yep.
R.I.P.
That's
That
it.
we had him for 46 minutes is a miracle unto itself.
Indeed. The other thing is there's the new Jedi guy that starts with 2 shields. That's 15 elite, so you have it live right away. Or if your opponent takes the battlefield, then you have it live. And that's
Did that other
scary.
guy who had shields?
He still exists, but he costs too much. He's a single die for like 10 points.
10 points.
Oh yeah. So like this. Oh, when you have that guy and Plo, you just start 4 shields.
No, because I think
No.
Flow triggers after the after setup stuff.
Oh boo.
That's why you don't get like the
Yeah.
Emphas things.
The Emphas Nest you get more things in your deck. Yeah.
This is hilarious. The Chiefs are going to cover their 10.5 point spread after spotting the Texans.
But they're bad.
Actually, you know what? You might get the
They're
shields because it says after setup. I forget how it works.
I thought he got them.
Yeah, he might get the shields because he's in play during the setup portion. So then that would make sense if he's just copying the text. But the other guy's elite. But and is he unique?
No.
Oh, Jedi Knight.
He's
Jedi Knight's
just
not
regular.
elite.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just
but 15, 14, whatever.
Yeah.
You start with 4 extra health.
Yeah, I don't want that Plo for that. I'd rather just have 12 health from like Luke than 12 health from Plo.
Yeah, fair enough. Still interesting.
Yes.
Any thoughts on this card, Reflex?
Now Reflex is watching TV. He's not here.
He's playing XCOM.
Yeah, he's playing that.
No, you turning that off.
If he was playing, we're just not picking him again.
It's open. I'm not playing it.
You guys wanted him here. This
I
is
was
all
watching
your
football.
fault.
Anything else? Reflex, is there a card you want to talk about?
Did we talk about Kanan yet?
No.
We talked about Kanan last week, but we can talk about Kanan if you want to talk about Kanan.
I just think he looks dope, and I think he's what was needed to make the Spectre archetype work.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time on like Kanan list point breakdowns, and I was gonna make that my article for this week, but then all the cards dropped, so that got put. But yeah, he's definitely interesting. I hope the Spectre archetype works. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's one of those tough ones where like 11, I think I'm okay with it because it's like Ezra-esque, but you gain the 1 extra health, and I think the harassment is gonna be like severely undervalued. I think questionable players not gonna get like decent value out of it, but solid ones are gonna harass the crap out of the opponent. Like life's gonna be kind of miserable. Like
The only other card I want to talk about is Stand Firm. It's
Stand firm.
It is a 0 cost. Remove any number of your dice showing shields to remove that many dice. So it's he doesn't like you, but multiple die if you're showing shields. Just really good blue hero. All of our upgrades usually in blue hero have a shield on it. So I just like the fact that it has 0 cost, and if you're playing like Luke, Old Man Luke, I mean, it's probably online, even though you're removing damage instead of shields. But I like it a little bit. There's always like a 1 shield out there that I'm like, man, I'd rather remove that 2 damage than take this 1.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just a little. It's going to be just too inconsistent to rely on. But I could see if you're playing all the upgrades and all the upgrades have shield sides, where you might pack one of these. But I think if you pack 2, you might just be asking for too much trouble. But I think like when the stars align and you can get it off, sure, it's essentially he doesn't like you. But the great thing about he doesn't like you is that it could just be anything, and this ain't that.
It's specific. I think it's specific for like what you said, that kind of.
I think I wish it was more like Shakedown. And like, if you have a die showing a shield, you could remove a die that costs 2 or less. Because then we're talking, right? Like that would be insane.
I think that would be really, really good.
Yeah.
I think this card is not good.
Because you have to lose your die.
That card you just thought of is
really good.
Yeah, that was really
broken. But yeah, I think that this card is probably terrible, but I could see why you might pack it.
I could see this as a potential one of in mono blue decks.
But it's got also one of the worst lines from all of Star Wars as its flavor text, which is like tilting. Around the survivors, a perimeter create. Good lord. Good job, George.
Yoda.
That's just such a bad line.
It should have been like around the survivors, create a perimeter redo or something like that.
A perimeter redo?
We do.
CX3?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Create a perimeter. We should. How about that one?
We should, sure. I don't know. I just think it's terrible.
You got to remember, I've never seen this man talk. It's entirely based off of memes and bullshit we hear.
Yeah. Shane, did you want to talk about Master Smuggler? You're kind of like hyping for the podcast.
Yeah, I can talk about him. I think he's gonna be good.
He's a hero. He's a hero yellow, 1013, non-unique elite potentially. He's a 1 range, 3 range for a resource, disrupt, discard, shield, no resource. But he says after you activate this character, you may resolve one of your scoundrel dice as if it were showing a resource.
So you were just talking about how good Entourage is.
So you basically get to cash in the indirect for resources.
Yeah, it makes every side of it 2 except for the special, right? Or 3 if you get the good one. It makes. Go ahead, Joe. And hired muscle's always a 2 as well, except for 2 sides, I think, right? The discard and the shield.
3 sides will be 2 for 1. 3 sides are 3 for 1.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a good Entourage package as long as you can find the right way to focus to the specials with lots of scoundrels available. This guy can just be your engine. As soon as you get it online, and then.
Do you think you just play 3 of him?
No.
3 of him, mono yellow. Let's go. Make the money.
No.
Drop the pirate.
You would be able to Entourage really hard.
I don't think you need red, but you do need blue.
I'd be fine with one.
Joe because he wants to play Rainbow all the time. So
yeah, need a handheld. I would play one of these, and I'd just be like hired muscle, and then roll out, and just be like, yeah, whatever. Mitigate it, because if I hit the 3,
give me 2 resources, right? Or 3. Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's really good. I'm trying to break him, so that's one of my decks that I did build last night.
Cool. Any thoughts there, Reflex? Just chilling.
Yeah, just watching football. He's useless.
I think that's this game. I'm liking it.
Go away, no football. I actually like Jedi Knight a lot. Have you read it? Jedi Knight is a 12-15, 10-point elite. He's not a unique. 2 melee, 3 melee for 1, shield, resource, special. After setup, you may give this character 2 shields. Special, give a character 1 shield, then deal 1 damage to a character. Or 2 damage instead if this character has 3 or more shields.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, if you had the shield, you could get a shield, then deal 2 damage to a guy. And that would be insane for the special. So like at bare minimum, we're looking at shield plus a damage. So 15-point elite for 2, 2, 3 for 1 shield resource. And he's 12 health. Like I'm fine with that. He's a Jedi. I think there's some good stuff there. You get to start with Nullify or Adapt live, no matter what, whether you start with your battlefield or not.
Yeah, what do you like him paired with?
Not sure what the pairing would be yet, because the issue is like, what do I do with the other 15 points? But if you put him with like R2 and Pilot Annie, his first side's a 2. And R2, so R2 can flip that, and he could then flip the R2. There's some shenanigans going on there.
Yeah, that's
Where's
pretty
your red?
sweet.
Huh?
Where's your red?
You don't
No
need handhelds.
handhelds,
They're
bro.
sticks. There's no they're all sticks. I don't need a handheld. When I got guns, there's a handheld. Guns are no damage. There's a handheld. So I just like him from that perspective. If you set up stuff with like you could go him and Luke 3 and have like the whole damage thing going, play an ability on Luke, pass it over. You don't feel as bad because he has the 12 health also. But I just like the fact that he's 2/2, essentially 3 for 1, and that's really big for a 15-point character as far as I'm concerned. This is like another Finn, but instead of having the 3 indirect, like we lost that for a shield, and then the mod 2 turned into 3 for 1. So like I'm totally cool with that.
I think it'll be interesting. I'm not too hot on him just because I feel like it's a lot of setup and work to get him really going, and you need an engine, and I don't know who would be your engine. I get like you can get Annie with some money and turning, but I don't know. I'm skeptical. Joe showed me the.
Yeah, who knows? Like I don't know what the pairing would be. I just mean like from a character die perspective, I'm not unhappy with it. Like when we look at a lot of character dice, like we want 3 sides that are viable, and it's usually like 2 damage resource. And here we actually have the 3 damage sides roughly in the resource. So I just don't want to see shield or blank primarily. And I think I'm perfectly cool with that.
But you're considering the shield like you're considering.
I don't want the
it
single shield side.
Right. But the special I'm talking about,
Special
the 1 damage.
It's 1
in-game
shield and 1 damage, but it could be 3.
You're considering it a damage swing, not necessarily dealing damage.
Correct.
It's not technically.
Right, and if he rolls out special on like his first rollout, like if you start the turn by rolling out, like start the game by rolling out, and he rolls special, then yeah, you're cooking with gas.
Yeah, because you get to the 3rd shield and you got 2 more damage.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, he doesn't have to give the shields to himself when you give the shield, the shield. So he could set up, Ray. If you wanted to run mono here with Ray and have like the shield action going, you can set up that. He actually starts off really strong with the Taru Strike, right? Just round 1 roll out.
Yeah,
And you're just
Ataru's live right away. He can like take out an Ewok a turn.
Yeah. So for me, there's enough going on there. The Jedi has the 15. I think I'd be cool with attempting something with this guy, just because he can be aggressive enough, and his 1 damage side is actually a 1 shield side because it's trash. But we got 3 guys, dude. We should just not have done this while football was going. Terrible.
Hey, I've been talking. What are you talking about?
It's okay.
We're good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that there's definitely some high points in this set. It's definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think there's still there's a lot of very terrible cards in the set too, but that's to be expected. It's
On paper so
definitely
far,
set.
it's my favorite set. On paper, I haven't played with it. But.
I don't see how it could be better than Legacies, but it has a lot going on.
Across the Galaxy is probably one of the better sets that came out. That like originally we just thought was a bunch of trash. A lot of those cards end up seeing a lot more play than I had originally anticipated, because I didn't buy cards for that set. I was like, oh, I'll just get singles, and then found myself buying like 3/4 of the legendaries.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas this set, I feel like I wouldn't buy most of these legends, but I also don't want to have to buy Bane and his freaking upgrades. So I guess that pulls up a good question. How many boxes are you buying?
I'm still only getting 3, 2, and then 1 at a
Play a box event.
box event. Yeah.
0 for Reflex.
I'm buying 1, but I have a free one, and then I play a box tournament, so I'll end up getting 2.
Yeah, I'm probably going like 2 to 3. It also depends how much like artificery credit I have, and whether I just try to buy the singles that I'm missing, or just go pure boxes. And then I'm playing I should be playing in a box event also whenever we figure out when this is coming out. Thanks, FFG. We hate
I really
you.
hope it comes out.
Yeah,
before
I mean,
plan level up the total.
this came up in some of the X-wing things today, this week. But the X-wing ships for this wave are already in Barnes and Noble,
Oh,
and
For the second
the ones that are
yeah,
coming out February.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, they were supposed to come out January 17th, but they got allegedly pushed. But it's sort of like, you know how some of the rumors were like some stores don't think it's going to get pushed.
yeah.
They were supposed to come out the 17th, but maybe the 24th, and now they're already in Barnes and Noble.
You know, this reminds me of the wave thing where certain stores could get the stuff right away back during like set 2, and some stores had to wait like a few weeks.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was like just some stores got it early and the other stores have to wait like the 3 weeks for it, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Different
At
distributors.
Yeah.
least it's not legal. And then like, I'm sure the Barnes and Nobles didn't get a ton, but
That's fair.
my Barnes and Noble had 2 of everything.
Did you buy them?
I bought some of them.
Are they on eBay?
No, I don't think people care that much about getting them early. They're for me.
Did
But
you check
I
eBay?
also get 20. I also get 20% at Barnes and Noble, so I don't. I usually buy half of my X-wing stuff at Barnes and Noble and half at my store.
Dude, you should check eBay, man. It's got to be one of those guys that's like, I don't have a Barnes and Noble in the state.
Yeah, but it's like literally going to be out next week or in 2 weeks, and it's not legal. So I don't know. Whatever. I'm not. I didn't do it to flip them. I did it because I want them, and
It's legal where it matters.
I
The
want 'em.
kitchen table.
true.
CM's legal as far as I'm concerned.
I'm gonna print them off.
And then stickers. We got the stickers.
They're legal in the Vassal League, like the online league, which is pretty funny because it's online, so it doesn't really matter if there's a street date or not.
Exactly our point. All right. I guess there's anything else.
I mean, there's still a lot of good cards. We're at an hour, and like if we're gonna do this every week, I don't mind doing stuff. Especially like once we start jamming games with it, because it's all on TTS now. That we might get we'll get experience with it, but like flanked by Wingman and the heal 2 guys card. Like I think there's some really interesting stuff in the set, but we don't have to talk about everything on day one.
That's fair. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about Merchant Freighter real quick because this is my new favorite card, besides Face the Enemy, which is broken. So 1 cost, support vehicle. The support enters play with 3 resources on it. The support can be activated. After you activate the support, you may remove 1 resource from it to gain 1 resource. So anyone that's kind of just familiar with the old stuff, this fits along the lines of like it binds all things, tech team, stuff like that. But the big thing here is it doesn't matter what was in your hand. Whereas those, you had to pair them with the card you were attempting to play, and it kind of messed up the sequencing. And you'd have to like get that out, then do whatever. And this thing sets you up to like 1, Dirtle, 2, have made the additional resource through the next 2 rounds. So, if you have, solid 3 drops in your deck, you're playing, I'd probably run this over binds automatically just because of that. They both can get hit by DM, so you don't really care. And the big thing there for me is just that like Hero has a bunch of 3 cost stick guns that they would run around. So like especially in mono blue, I'd just be like, all right, cool, I'll play this. If I hit it 1, cool. If not, like I can still get it and then dirtle with it if I need it. But there were a lot of cool like piloted vehicle tricks. You could like eject this after you got a couple resources from it.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And probably the one that Reflex mentioned before we started was this will probably be my new favorite card to Armored Reinforcement. I got profitable connections for 3 rounds. Let's just AR straight into this, get the 3rd resource, and go.
Seems good.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny that it just gives you profitable, like to armor it for turns. Like it's just so like
it's a really
that's
slow profitable.
Exactly what power creep is. But it's like, did they need to do that? I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah, because the whole time we're like, well, it's profitable, but it's limited on what it could get, right? So we're like, oh, now you're just like, no, I'm going to profitable this, and then I'm going to have my 3rd.
Yeah, and I'm going to do it again and again. The only thing is, like, obviously, it doesn't have ambush or anything, so if you do get it and you get DM'd, like, you're going to feel
super bad. You pin 3 points to get DM'd, essentially.
Sure, but you'd also feel bad if you paid a resource for binds and it got DM'd. Forbidden Lore is the only one where you don't feel bad if it gets DM'd.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing is that like you don't necessarily have to AR for this, but if you're trying to set up for it, you could. And I think with this being available is now when I'd be like, okay, let me look better at Rebel Hangar.
Yeah, see, I see it as, I either get a guaranteed 3rd resource round 1, or I get the possible of 3 resources
Each round for the first 3 rounds, yeah. And that's the disgusting part.
It just depends, right? I think it's really cool. I think the eject thing is really a smart plan. I think this could fit in a good aggro wide vehicle deck. I was also thinking maybe like Hera and Kira with AR.
Yep.
And then you get to do the eject and Rebel Hangar stuff.
Yep. And you got to get the resource to delve in the Rebel Hangar.
Right away. Like that's You're exactly right. I think that's where I was going with it too.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can give up 2 health. That's only 20 health.
For anyone
Need
wondering,
to
it's
do
because
it with-
he had a Fin Cure deck that got molested. So like,
It didn't get molested. I got some bad draws. I need to refix it. I think it'd still be.
destroyed.
It did not get destroyed. Go watch the video. I
It
had
can't,
4
unless-
X-wings out. I had 4 X-wings out. Oh yeah.
And distracted by football.
I mean, they're up 10. I don't know what could be too distracting, but Kelsey's got 44
enjoying.
points on DK.
Right.
Love.
All right. I think it's a good time to call it. Anything else you got to say? Reflex, you're still being silent.
He's
This
silent
is
Bob
not
right
your
there.
podcast, right?
Yeah, man. I haven't played. I feel like I don't have like a lot to add. I haven't really dived into this.
Bobo hasn't played. He just read.
Yeah, I don't do that.
He's like,
Yeah.
no idea.
Even like I was hoping that the set would get me hyped to play, and
I did have someone mention though is that we don't talk enough, I guess, about LVO. Like it's a premier event.
we don't talk enough about LVO.
Yeah,
That's all we've talked about for the first 3 weeks of the podcast. Who the hell said that? That person's an idiot. But
I
go
would
ahead.
guess.
We can talk more about LVO.
Sorry, Coach
was Shane.
Kierbrowski.
It was Shane.
Oh no. It
Yell
was
at him
not.
later. Definitely ping him and yell at him. Just call him out. All right. No, it's just like pushing more that it could potentially be our last premier event,
It's not. It's
it's
not. gonna
not
be the last
likely.
premier event.
but with everyone saying the world is ending, it could be.
But like IA is getting another world championship, and that
Yeah.
game has been dead for far longer than Destiny has. Like
That's
it's
fair.
not going to be the last premier event. There's zero chance there's an event. There's not an event at Gen Con.
This could be a
Sure,
last
sure,
premier
sure.
event for a lot of people, though. So, like on the West Coast, this is the first non-Minnesota premier event for the West Coast, right?
Yeah. In
Yes.
general, this is going to be a good event. You should go to it if you have the means and the want, right? You should want to go to Destiny. As I was telling Jack and Golden Dice, like I enjoy seeing these guys. I don't get to see the whole community as often as I'd like to. So being able to go to somewhere that everyone should have fun playing, even though it's an old meta, just playing Destiny, hanging out in a good location. Like this is what we want, right? At least I'm not going to like Minnesota in winter to go play LVO, right? I'm going to Vegas, where if I want to have some fun somewhere else, I have opportunities. So
Mhm.
I think this will be a great event. I'm really glad. I really hope this doesn't deter any other community members from wanting to start their own grand, because I feel like this was just they tried to create a non-stale meta grand, and they just FFG let them down, right? We didn't have it available when we should have had it available closer to Worlds, and this would have been fine. I feel like if we would have had the new meta, these cards, I feel like we had these cards in plenty of time. Like this is LVO's 2 months away. I feel like more of us on this podcast would be going.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think a ton of people, we hypothesized how really booked. I thought it was low, but Zion said it was quite a few. And talking to people, it was quite a few people who booked because they thought Covert Missions was out. And I think if we had gotten this spoiler and there was still any time to, and it was obviously going to be legal for Vegas, people would definitely be going.
Yep.
I actually think
I
he's.
think it.
Okay,
Go
sorry. No. I thought you finished. My bad. Go.
Oh, I was saying and I don't even think. I think that I know, Shane, you're really excited about the set. I think the jury's out on whether the set is actually very good or not, but it definitely has enough potential that it hypes people. So I think if we get the full set, no matter what the cards were, people would have booked.
Yeah. As far as the set's concerned, I hate the legendaries for the most part. Like, I utterly despise them. I feel like there's a bunch of niche options. But as far as LVO is concerned, from what I read, as long as I didn't misread it, after they said CM was delayed, they got 21 people additional registered to LVO.
After CM delayed or after CM?
After CM was announced delayed. So,
okay.
they said CM wasn't coming out till February, and then 21 people registered.
Oh, because they didn't want CM?
Probably because, the hustle and bustle, you have to, get whatever cards. If they didn't, build decks or whatever already, they're, going to struggle and, get beat up by something they just don't know about. This is more of a concise meta, right? Poll, guys, what are you going to put to win LVO? Reflex.
What deck?
Yeah, which deck?
If I knew, I'd be playing it.
Come back to me.
Chopper. Chopper droids, 5-die droids.
That's what I want to say, but like I don't know that people. I don't think people are going to put in the work. I don't think people put in the work necessary to get it to where it needs to be to win.
All right,
I don't
fair
think
enough.
I don't think chopper droids.
What do you got?
But I think if somebody did, I think it would be the favorite.
I still don't. Mainly, so here's the problem: chopper droids at this point, you have to play the long game, and the long game favors Palp and Mill and other things.
I don't agree.
Okay, how many games have you played in the last 2 months?
0.
All right, Shane, what do you think then?
To be honest with you, I've been trying to figure it out. I think Mill is set to be super good spot. I think Palp is a super good spot, and I think Raylo's. I think one of those three will.
I'm gonna say.
I agree with that.
Is villain vehicles too broad?
No, you can go with that.
I'll go with villain vehicles, and if I had to pick someone, I think there's going to be an Afro build that comes out, and I think it's going to be new.
So what vehicles in that deck?
Whatever supports, you know. What I mean.
I know, but I tried. I was like villain vehicles. Yeah, there's no vehicle in the deck for reflex, but it won. Damn it. Okay,
That's my
supports.
What do you
Supports.
think, Joe, Mike?
already
It's too
won.
easy to say Raylo, but he said Chopper.
Raylo hasn't won anything. It doesn't win.
It's
Good
been
players
winning-
play against Raylo and they beat it.
It's been winning primes. I just won 2 primes the last week.
Yeah, when good players play against Raylo, they beat it. There aren't good players at primes.
Yeah, Kyle lost in the finals yesterday to Menu.
To Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
his-
think
his
once-
mill's
when
really
you get to
weird.
a high level tournament and to a top level cut, I think Raylo people know how to play against it.
All right, so we're gonna put Onion as the winner.
No, I think Mill's in a good spot,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you now, I'm practicing Mill, Palp, both sides, red and yellow.
I think
And-
Palp is way too easy to counter to win a big tournament.
It's
Yeah.
so I mean, yeah. So I'll tell you this: I played games on 5-die droid. I've been trying to figure it out, and you go too long. You get to a point where you can kill Palp, and if you don't hit that, you lose the game
Fair.
because then it's Bacta.
All right. So now the real question: at what point in the top cut does Rulin leave?
Going.
I don't know. I say top 16 he leaves.
It's
Beats
in
a
his time zone, right? Maybe he doesn't have to because the flights are all in his time.
Actually, it's actually a negative time, so he would gain an hour going back home.
Yeah, when he was going east to west, he'd gain time. I don't know. All right, if it's pseudo home area, then top eight he leaves after being winning.
Okay.
There we
I
go.
don't think. I think it'll be. I don't think there'll be something spicy new that will win. I think it will be something we
Time
already.
tested and true.
I just don't think people are putting in the work to find the new stuff. Like, I feel like there's a lot of apathy.
Sure. I want to see some
I
Val
think,
2P.
I think this weekend there was some really interesting shit in the top 8s. Minnesota had one, and the Magnusons played like some 3-wide support decks and stuff. I think people are starting to. I don't think any of those guys are going to LVO, but I guess I don't know. They are.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
I
think.
should
No,
talk more
the
about
top
LVO,
two
I don't know.
guys. The top 2 guys aren't, but like some of the other DC guys are going.
Bowie
So-
and,
and they're
Paul-
practicing with-
Emma Spalding.
I think so, but I know that like the DC guys, I don't think take a day off. They usually go hold.
Yeah, well, Spalding and Rami both need invites still.
Bowie won. Hit
Yeah.
their prime yesterday. Which is cool. Shout outs to Bowie.
GG, baby. GG. You're like
All
one of
right.
the first Rainbow Trooper guys.
Ready to end this charade?
I think so. Any parting words, guys? Any last things you want to say?
No,
I'm excited
good.
for the new set.
Yeah, that's
I-
great.
On paper, it looks to be amazing.
See how long that goes until it dies off. There's going to be so much crazy stuff. I just do not want to see Face the Enemy. I'm going to lose my mind. Someone's going to play that after I've like used a card or something, and I'm going to be like, oh, there goes my hand. I hate
Yep. You're gonna cry.
I love getting cards out of Joe's hand. Like knowing Joe's hand and putting the cards that he doesn't want in his hand.
you. Yeah, it feels bad. Well, so like I'm going to entourage and tutor up something, and then they're going to take that and throw it back on top of the deck, and I'm going to be like, no, I need that. I don't play draw cards.
Yeah, and then like this will just like make a villain mill deck OP, and they'll just like mill the cards that you did once. You can't even draw them.
Yeah, it's like, oh. Well, they struggle with milling off the top, though, so we'll see how that works.
Krennic with
enough.
a plot with Madi and
Ugh. That is brutal, right? You, like, leave them with removal in their hand, and you put the good cards on top.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh.
All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Deuces.